Let's get started on your mandala design. You're going to be using a template that I created for you. In the center section, you're going to be drawing 3 lines and 1 shape. So these can be any way you want. We're going to end up transferring them to the other sections of the mandala, and then it'll go around in a circle. So you'll see what I mean as we go. First line, I just want to connect side to side, and you can make that geometric or organic, up to you. Second line, I'm also going to do side to side. My third line, maybe I'll make it go here, because then it's going to flip and make another shape in here. And then 1 shape of my choosing. I really love circles because I think they're really calming and cool. So I'm going to put a circle up there. And then that part is finished. When you're done, you're just going to cut this out. And I just encourage you to cut as carefully as you can on this line where it says cut. Because in order for this to work out, you want to be fairly precise. So we're going to cut this. And we've got our sections here. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to trace over the Sharpie lines that kind of bled through the thin paper, just so that I can see a little bit better in the next step. So I'm going to make sure these lines are really nice and dark and can be seen easily on both sides. So I'm tracing over here. Then what I'm going to do is turn it back over, and I'm going to fold it right on the lines that say fold. Try to be careful here and get it lined up as neatly as you can. So it's kind of like making a paper airplane. I think I overfolded that one, so I'm going to correct it a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Now what we're going to do is just fold this section over, and you can see, probably not too well on the video, but you're going to be able to trace through here. Because the paper is so thin, you're going to be able to see where that design is. And then you're just going to trace over it. I've already done it on this one, so you can kind of see what happened. So I went over here and traced this way and unfolded it and went to this side, and now I'm just going to trace this side, as I can see through the paper because it's just really thin printer paper. And then my circle's up here. Sorry, you can't really see that on the video, so you're going to have to trust me. Then when you unfold it, these designs are going to be symmetrical with the section next to it. And then I'm just going to give it a trace so I can see it really well for the next step. Okay, now you are going to transfer your design over to a larger sheet of paper. You can't see the whole paper because my camera is not big enough, but it's 12 by 12 inches. So first thing you're going to do is use your ruler, line it up across the top. And if you've got the ruler lined up correctly, you should see the 6 right here in the middle because it's 12 inches wide. If it's not lined up correctly, no worries. Just make sure it's lined up on this end. And you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to make a little mark at the 6 inch. Everybody see that? Right there. Then I'm going to slide the paper down, do the same thing here. And I'm going to make another mark at the 6 inch point. If the 6 is there, great. If not, count your inches. The darkest lines are inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm just going to connect those 2 points that I made so that my paper is divided in half vertically. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm dividing the paper into 4 equal sections. Like that. And then Connect those 2 points, and you've got a paper with 4 equal sections. Now, you can take your design that you made. This is like a quadrant. It may not measure out exactly right, but that's okay. We're just gonna forgive ourselves for that. So paper might not be exactly 12 inches, but it's gonna be close. So we're gonna line that up, and then we're gonna turn it over, and we're gonna do the graphite transfer on the back. So just like we've done in the past, you're gonna color over, but you only need to color over where the Sharpie is for your graphite transfer. So I'm just coloring over where the Sharpie was. Don't waste your time coloring all of it, because that's not needed. In the first step, when you're drawing your design, you can experiment with some different ideas. Don't feel like you have to use the first idea that you come up with. If you start working with it and you're folding it and transferring your design over and you don't like it, then just go ahead and get another piece of paper and try it again. So once you do have one you like and you've got the graphite on the back, then you're just going to line it up here in the center, and that line and this line will end up in that quadrant. And then you just take your pencil or a pen. I could put some pens out, and we're just going to trace over each of our lines. And you also want to trace over the fold lines. So we're going to go down like that on each of these fold lines. Just try to hold it in the same place. If you need a little piece of tape, we can get you a little piece of tape. The nice thing is, if it moves a little bit, it's really easy to tell where it's supposed to go because it lines up with the vertical and horizontal lines that you drew on your 12-inch piece of paper. And you can just kind of pick up one edge to check and make sure that it transferred over. Looks like there's some places that I missed. So I'll go back over those. And then I also want to trace this outside. So we should see the design pretty well. Again, if you did miss something, you can go back, just put it right back where it was, because that's going to be easy to do. And then just trace over it again. It looks like I didn't get any graphite on that section. So I'm going to go back. Looks like I forgot to put graphite on the fold sections. Let's do that now. Put this back. And then I can retrace that part. When you're all finished with everything tracing wise, you're just going to go back with your Sharpie and carefully trace over all of your pencil lines in this step. Looks like I missed that fold line right there. Looks pretty good. And then you're going to just keep going around and around until you've done all 4 quadrants. And then, as I said before, you're going to go ahead and trace over these lines with Sharpie. And then when you're finished, you can cut it out. And that's all there is for this step. Then we'll start painting.